What's up guys, Chasing Lamely here with episode number 6 of our Williams Revival series on F1 Manager 22. And in today's episode we are going to the Red Bull Ring in Austria in just 4 game days time, followed by, if memory serves, a trip to Manicourt, which feels like the next track on the calendar if I'm remembering rightly, because my brain a little bit still fried from this flu. It is Manicourt, which is a pretty good place for us to hopefully pick up some points. We've got some stuff to deal with first, so in the inbox we've got our post-race debrief, reaction to Théo Pourchaire need improving. I think he's got a point to do that, so we'll probably go do that now. We're exceeding expectations. We did okay in the British Grand Prix, I suppose. We've got a new front wing design, and we're manufacturing the old one for reasons I don't fully understand, but I'm sure that will be fine. So let's go and take care of Théo Pourchaire having that extra point to spend on his reactions, because they're quite low, and we don't really want that to be a thing, so we'll try and boost him up as much as we can. Don't think there's any more development points to spend anywhere else. Oh, there is one on our head of aero, which is always important. I guess we're going to go with, I think we're going to go with DRS Delta, because at this point we just want to be as quick as possible. That feels like a good plan. No development points on our race engineers, but I'm sure we're going to get there. There's 7 million in the bank. I don't think there's anything we want to do facilities-wise. We'll look at the ops facilities because they're usually quite important. We'll start with, I guess, the weather centre is going to be a place to do that, because I like to know the weather, because raining is a big, big factor in whether or not we pick up points right now. Where are we at with development? That's the next big question for a couple of days to build up the game. We have no research slots left, so that is something we can kind of forego for now. So we'll do a bit more facilities. Why not? What can we do here to do more staffing facilities in there? We'll do a race simulator. That's all of our money gone, pretty much, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll head on to the Grand Prix and see what we can do in this session. If you missed the last episode, by the way, we did pick up some lovely points in the wet weather. Go check that one out. If you have seen it, welcome back to this journey that we're on. We're going to go and try and get the most out of what we've got coming up. We've manufactured a chassis, which means I should be able to manufacture some wings, which, having thought about how I just spent all that money, feels like I made a huge mistake. But you know, you live, you learn, that's fine. Let's do some front wings. We're already manufacturing the new front wing. Apparently, I don't remember manufacturing the new front wing, but there we go. Did I do that already? Front wing completion manufacturing 11 days, which does not feel like that's as rapid as I'd like it to be. But the next part is coming in 1 day, so that's actually okay. That's fine. Let's have a little look just to make sure. 1 day and 3 days. We will have those new wings for the race in Austria. More power, baby. More power, as they say over at Donut. That's what we need. So, scouting department upgraded, which means I can start scouting some more drivers, which is actually going to be a quite big thing for us, because we do have Jack Aitken's contract running out at the end of the season, and I have not really put much time into scouting for new drivers, and I think I probably need to do that because, as you can see, if I look at our scouting data, we don't really have much data on anyone who hasn't already driven for us. So it's going to be a case of who can we find, who's new. Scott Sherlock's anyway, I don't recognise. Don't know if I want to find out his potential. Just let's have a little look. Let's go to our age, because there's no real hurry to get someone in the car at this stage. Any names here that jump out at people we should check Enzo Trulli, because everyone likes a Trulli trainer, so we'll go and start scouting him just to see if Enzo Trulli has any potential available that we can make use of. I still honestly want Scott Sherlock just for the name. I don't know anything about him. We'll find out all about him. Why not? Let's find out all about Scott Sherlock and anyone else we should be looking at here for youngish stroke. We need to look at David Schumacher, because let's get a Schumacher on the grid. If we can get a Schumacher on the grid, that's still a win for us. So I'm going to do that as well. Into the inbox. Anything happening there? Scouting department upgrade complete. All good news. All gravy for us. So we can go. Manufacturing will be complete on a couple of things, which means we can probably put some parts on the car, which I should do that before I go into the race, otherwise I'll forget, and we'll be running a slower car. Let's see how this new front wing holds up to where we are on the grid. Let's do the team rank on the grid look, because that's always helpful. So, I mean, that's a big boost in our high-speed cornering, and that's going to come in very, very handy here. So we'll do that. We'll install that on both cars. extra power, extra speed. That's all going to be very useful for us. Let's see where we stack up in our analysis for this race, just so we can kind of see where we're at. High-speed cornering, we are ahead of most of the grid on, which is the vital thing. And actually, we're not far off on a lot of the other parts that we could be useful, the performance things that could be useful, and in terms of what is coming up in terms of development as well. Design-wise, new chassis in 22 days, and we have got some new side pods. Did I build enough side pods to put new? Do I need to put new side pods on the car? I think we're good on that front. I think we're on iteration 3. Yeah, we are good on that. Okay, so we're just waiting for that new chassis to come in, which should come in after Belgium, and hopefully we'll be a lot faster as we go through the second half of the season. Right, qualifying, we're going to go for a reach Q2 target, because that might be achievable, and we'll take the qualifying position as well. Race targets, finish position, wants us to finish 15th. We're not going to set a fastest lap unless a miracle happens. We're just going to keep going with that. So, I will see you on the other side. We'll see how we do in Austria. So, confession time, kids, and I dropped the ball on this one. I dropped the ball on this one hard. We finished last and second last, 2 laps behind, because I went to wets prematurely, and the graph lied to me, and it never actually got up to being full wet for another 10 laps rather than the 2 laps the graph was showing me. And we just got swallowed up by guys who went on inters. Entirely my fault. Apologies for that, but you know, we've still got a chance to make it up in this episode. We're still 11th and 13th in the drivers. We are still 7th in the constructors. So that still worked out okay, I guess, overall. And development point for Piastri. Development point for Porsche. That's still good. We've at least improved our drivers, and we've made 3.5 million. Unfortunately, I also took new engines and new ERS and new gearboxes, so we're probably at a net loss, because that's 6 million down the can, and we should be at about minus 2 million, which means nothing is getting done in terms of upgrades or manufacturing for this race, which is absolutely fine. 1.5 million down, that's absolutely okay. We'll survive with that. 11 days until we go to France. F1 in Scores invitation. Well, we need the money, so we'll take that. Post-race debrief, the smoothness of Piastri needs improving, which is evident in his tyre use. We've also got a sporting regulations update. Let's have a little look. So, pole position bonus point is still no. Fastest lap bonus point will go to no. And this is the 10.86 to... I'm absolutely against that. I hated those regs. So let's vote against that regulation change and hope everyone else is smart enough to do the same thing, shall we? We'll see what happens. Let's keep going forward. We're going to find out very shortly what happened to those regulation votes. I have a feeling it's going to get passed, because I've seen a few people on the YouTube having the experience of that passing, and it's never fun. So Oscar Piastri has low morale. Roberto Pellegrini has low morale. We have manufactured new side pods, which is great. Everyone has low morale, and I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to cope with that, because this is the downside to having staff there to develop rather than staff there to be the best immediately. So that's going to be an issue. I've just remembered as I've been skipping through that we have some development points to use. Piastri's smoothness is his game. So let's get him up on the smoothness, because he's always going to need that to look after his tyres. Smoothness for Porsche is fantastic, so we're just going to go to his reactions again. Give him another reactions boost, make him a slightly better driver. We have got a development point for Jack Aitken as well. I think we'll go on braking, because it'd be nice if we could stop the car before it hits a wall. And Jack Aitken goes up to a 67 overall. Anything for our staff today? Ooh, we've got one for race engineer Alex Chan, who could probably communicate better. That's probably a good tip. Be a better communicator. Good for life and everything. How's the pit crew coming on as well? Pit crew is coming on okay. We're keeping them on balance, because they're pretty good in everything except wing adjustment, and we never adjust our wings during a pit stop, so that's not a huge issue. I just want to get them quicker at the actual stopping and fixing and servicing of the car, replacing of the tyres, dropping the car, get the car out. Are we going to find out that vote? We've gone all the way through, which is probably a bit excessive, but that's absolutely fine. We've made a little bit of cash somewhere along the way as well. Let's see how that vote went, though, because that's going to be important. Aitken's performance has paid off. His performance rating has improved. Good up-and-coming driver Jack Crawford of Trident. We will look at him as soon as we can. And the regulations, well, they're going through because the FIA tiebreaker voted it through. I don't understand that. I don't understand why, if you're Alpha Tauri, Alfa Romeo, or Aston Martin, you would vote for that, because that means you're never getting any points. But, you know, I also understand why McLaren would vote against that, or Alpine, or Mercedes, because they would get. This system's baffling. We'll deal with that next season. That's next season's problem. It is race prep time. We have no new parts coming to worry about. Let's see what we can do with our qualifying targets. We're just going to keep them as they are, I think, because reaching Q2 did not happen in the last race weekend. I don't know if we're going to be any better off at Manicourt. Let's have a little look just to see how we stack up on the analysis side for this one. Very similar to the race in Spielberg. It is going to be high-speed cornering where we're going to make all of our advances. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll be back with the results in just a second. So, real talk, and the French Grand Prix has not gone very well for us. It went slightly better than the last race. We finished in 16th and 18th. We were actually in 15th until the last corner, but we were in the middle of a battle with Lando, and he just got across the line ahead of us by 4 tenths because our ERS ran out, unfortunately. Théo Pourchaire did a 2-stop. I thought it was going to be worth a gamble. It wasn't worth the gamble. It didn't go our way at all. So Pourchaire drops to 12th in the Drivers' Championship, and Piastri continues in 13th. We remain in 17th in the Constructors, and that's what really matters. Are we going to get any points to throw at people? We're going to throw up a point at Piastri, and we're not going to get any points for Pourchaire, and certainly no points for Jack Aitken. We'll do that before we wrap up the episode. 4.5 million goes into the bank, which means we actually have some money. I need to try and remind me in the comments, guys, not to spend any money, because I can't afford to spend any money and upgrade the car over the summer break, which is not far away. We need to be sensible here and make the moves that we need to make. So we're going to go into the drivers menu very quickly. We will see what's occurring before we carry on. So Piastri, I think, is going to be about smoothness again, because if he could just keep hold of his tyres, he'd be magic. And Piastri goes up to a 76 overall rating. That's quite nice to see. Are there any staff who I need to give any boosts to? Not yet. We're not quite there yet. Okay, so we're going to come back for the Hungarian Grand Prix, the summer break, and the Belgian Grand Prix in the next episode. That feels like a good place to wrap this up. So, thanks for watching as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave the comments, all that good stuff. Till next time, I've been Chasing Lamely. I'll see you all very soon. Have a good one.